Okay, today we are going to make some salsa. And I've got everything ready. I've got my blender, I've got my knives, my chopping board. Here's what we need. We need a bunch of cilantro, a serrano or two, or jalapenos if you prefer, a little bit of salt, garlic clove, couple of limes, 4 romas, 5 maybe if they're very small, and then just a small onion. Got my bowl ready, got my spatula ready, so here we go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to juice our limes, and we're just going to juice everything right into the blender. Okay, there we go. If you have a huge lime, you can just use 1, but I like to use a couple. Alright, and then we're also going to put about a teaspoon and a half of salt. I always do just a tiny bit less than what I think I need, because if it's salty, too salty, it is inedible. So next we're just going to get our garlic clove in there, and we'll let the blender do all the work for us. All right, next we've got our serranos. I like mine pretty spicy, so I'm going to put a couple in there. If you're not sure about the spice, maybe start with 1. If you want maybe a jalapeno but you don't like the spice, you can always, cut your pepper, take out all the seeds and the little white membranes, and then you won't get so much spice, but I like it all. Next thing, we're just going to roughly chop up this onion. Again, we like to let the blender do all the work. Come on. Okay. There we go. All right, that should do it. And then next, we are going to put in, let's say, a little handful of the tops of the cilantro. Try to avoid all these big, huge stems down there. It should blend up pretty good, but don't want any big, chewy pieces of cilantro in there. Okay, so the only thing we should have left at this point are our Roma tomatoes. But first, before we add those, we want to probably just pulse it like 5 or 6 times. Okay, perfect. So we just want to get those started, make sure that garlic gets chopped up, the onion gets chopped up. Now for the tomatoes, we do want to take out all of the seeds. It's called coring, or coring out your tomatoes. So basically, this is the part you want. So you just take out that middle part and the seeds, and then just throw them in the blender. This is really the only part that seems to take a lot of time, but it's okay. Almost done. All right, last one. And after you've made this once or twice, you can adjust the amount of garlic, the amount of cilantro, the tomatoes to onion ratio, the heat from the different types of peppers. So you just make it a couple of times and see if you need more salt, see if you need less salt. Because that's the best part about making your own stuff is, I'm making a mess here, is that You get to make it however you like it. All right, so now we're going to pulse again. And sometimes, at least in my blender, all the big leaves of cilantro start creeping up the top. Just push them down, make sure everything gets the same amount of chop. Okay. Couple more. All right, I think we are good. Now, only thing left to do is get it all out of your blender. Now, the thing that I think is the most important is, if you were to eat this right now, it would be perfectly fine, but it's going to taste, to me it tastes like green, like not quite done, like, I don't know. I don't like the flavor of it right when it's done. But if you let it sit in the fridge overnight, or for the, you know, make it in the morning for dinner that night, you know, a good 8 hours to overnight, because you want that lime juice to soak in. You want the peppers, the tomatoes to just get kind of all soaked up with all the different flavors. That way you kind of get the same flavor with every bite that you take. So, it's done. That's it. I think it took me about 3 minutes. So now I'm just going to put it in the fridge, and then I'll probably put some on my scrambled eggs in the morning. And I'll take a picture of that so you can see that I really am eating my food. Okay.